I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referees telling two fighters who want to fight to calm it down. He should calm down.
I saw he's like a clown in his show, man. He's not your guy.
Because Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack.
Look, Eddie Hearn can say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Can you let me retire and be happy? Please, just please.
Bombs away from the Bronx Bomber!
Wilder! Let's go, baby! Let's go! I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
I got dropped, man. You didn't.
No, you won the fight.
OMG, I am so excited.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up, MCR family? Another daily edition of the show live on YouTube, podcast from iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, etc. I'm Matt, the Hipster Hunter. Going to be talking all things boxing. Andy Ruiz losing in the rematch to Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua being two-time heavyweight champion of the world. A lot to get to on the show. Jamal Charlo picking up a much-needed TKO win against Dennis Hogan. Emmanuel Navarro and Yoran Cajas had a couple tune-ups on ESPN+. Plus a litany of news. Deontay Wilder being offered $20 million to fight some undefeated Canadian heavyweight. All right, I guess. Whatever that is, we're going to get to it. Danny Garcia fighting another tune-up. Yay. Mikey Garcia potentially fighting Jessie Vargas in a one-fight deal with DAZN. Yeah, it's been just a day, and I feel like we've missed a lot already, so let's just get right to it. Rob, your end seems a little bit messed up. Maybe reconnect and try Ethernet. I know you're a guy that likes to ignore the Ethernet. No?
Shall I leave and come back?
No, you're good right now. Earlier, you were like really jumpy, but you sound good right now. Let's go over to Rob in the UK. Mr. Robbie Hearns, second cousin, twice removed. Rob, how's the kingdom, man? Was it good? How was the show?
And the first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
Two time?
The kingdom? What are you on about?
Like Saudi Arabia, that's like...
yeah, it's good. It's good. It's the hospitality has been fantastic. And I don't know about everybody else in the UK that watched on the pay-per-view, but I don't know about you. I feel like a holiday. Saudi Arabia looks really nice.
Over and under on how many ads to go to Saudi Arabia? 30? What are you thinking? Over or under on that?
Maybe under just.
Oh, okay.
Like every other round, and then obviously through the... I don't know. Maybe it was over. But yeah, just this compulsion to try and book a holiday to Saudi Arabia is unreal. It was being forced into our minds. But no, obviously, like you say, Joshua done his thing. We'll obviously talk about that. We'll talk about Andy Ruiz and not wanting to give any excuses, but then giving quite a few. Obviously, Gary's boy, Charlo, and
What you gonna do, brother?
all right, settle down, Hogan. The running bad luck for Matt Korobov, obviously, but yeah,
such bad luck.
Let's go over to Texas and see how he's doing.
Gary in Dallas was in New York watching Charlo Hogan. How was it?
Lions only. Y'all know what time it is. Heart of a Lion. Jamal Charlo is back. And I heard who didn't train for the fight.
I'm sorry, Gary. Sorry. Yes, Lions only.
Charlo is back. That was the performance he needed. It doesn't matter. Charlo will fight anyone. If it weighs 160 pounds, Jamal Charlo will knock it out. if it weighs 160, Charlo will knock it out.
Kangaroos.
Animals. Wild wildebeest. If they weigh 160, Charlo will knock it out.
Didn't Matt Korobov weigh 160 pounds?
Ooh.
Next topic.
Next topic.
Sorry.
Oh gosh, let's get to the marquee fight of the weekend, and probably the marquee fight of the year. At least one of them. Definitely one of them. I still don't know. I mean, we have Eddie Hearn out there saying it's the best pay-per-view of all time, when he said the same thing for KSI Logan Paul, and that was just a lie. So I'm gonna wait till we hear back from Barb on terms of the numbers. AKA Rob is gonna go check into the Barb system, and when we find out, which should give at least like a month out, like they usually come out.
I don't know. Look, they usually got a pretty good idea early. You know, when they give out it's tracking. I remember Eddie was saying this. It was Joshua Parker. He was saying this has got every chance of breaking it. The way it's tracking, the way for breaking the Klitschko.
It didn't.
No, but it didn't in the end. But it was sort of, because you get the Sunday morning buys as well, because it's still available to buy at that point. But
and then maybe you're just different distributors, you know,
yeah,
in some aspect. But whenever we find out that number, I think it's going to be a decent number. If it breaks the record, we don't know. But Eddie has already been caught this year lying about pay-per-views, so I'm just going to hold off on talking about whether or not it's the best, biggest event in UK boxing history. When that news comes out, we will definitely talk about it if it happens. But this fight is for sure one of the biggest fights of the year, a very important fight of Anthony Joshua's career. I would argue the most important fight of Anthony Joshua's career thus far. And, I mean, I know there is some criticism about maybe the fight being not as entertaining as the first one, but to me, it was impressive to see Anthony Joshua make slight adjustments, both in game plan and in style, from the first fight to the second fight. And to see him make those adjustments in terms of just pure game planning, you can tell he was in the lab with McCracken working a lot of what he did in the second fight in terms of feinting, in terms of movement, in terms of being aware of the space and the distance to the ropes. All things that you can tell were on his mind in the second fight that was not there in the first fight. That was an adjustment in camp. I am impressed by Anthony Joshua. I really am. Like, this was a great boxing performance by him. Do I think he could have maybe stepped up at times? Perhaps, and got, some more of maybe some knockdowns, maybe finished him, maybe. But every time he did step it up, Andy did answer back accordingly. So I think he was wary of the power of Andy Ruiz, as he should have been, since he was knocked down 4 or 5 times in the first fight. And again, put on a really good boxing performance against Andy Ruiz, who clearly, due to his own admissions, didn't seem to give a fuck about this fight, which is really upsetting that the whole 15-pound weight gain, James Buster Douglas comparison was 100% true. That is really upsetting. And I know how fickle fans are, so they're going to really trash Andy Ruiz going forward until he redeems himself. But I want to make it very clear, people, let's not go out there saying, like I saw some asshole saying on Twitter, that Top Rank was right for landing Andy Ruiz go. Look at what he did this weekend. I think that's a very bullshit argument. That's an ignorant argument to make. He clearly didn't care about this camp, but clearly he's still a talented heavyweight. And I think a fight where we get both men completely on point would be interesting. Because the first fight, you can make an argument that AJ, due to the opponent switch, maybe not really game planning enough for Andy Ruiz and not having enough time, wasn't prepared for Andy. While vice versa, you can say, obviously, for this fight, Andy didn't prepare enough for AJ. So down the line, I cannot wait for a trilogy fight where we get both men absolutely 100% on point. That would be interesting. But digressing, guys, thoughts on AJ's performance? I don't know who wants to jump in first.
Go ahead, Rob.
Ah, thanks, man. No, quickly on the Ruiz thing. I understand what you say about a bullshit argument, but I think maybe Bob Arum has got some, not vindication, but kind of like, I did tell people this. His dedication, he's apparently had sit-down meetings with Arum, and he's like, well, I kind of want to do, my interests. And I think early on with Arum, he said, like, my dad's got a construction company, and that's go, and it, like the commitment fully to a boxing career didn't seem to be there, and that. But obviously, a dedicated Ruiz, he did what he did. There's issues around whatever with Joshua as well, but he'd done what he did on June 1st. But fast forward December 7th, I think I understand people saying wasn't like particularly exciting. For me watching, it was the whole at any point
it's suspense.
Gonna lunge in? Is he gonna? Because there was a point, I think this is the first round or the second round. He caught him with a good right hand, and like it looked like I'm going in, and I swear you could because the atmosphere wasn't like a full on like British crowd, or it was you could hear the cornerman throughout the fight quite a bit, and I swear you just heard, "No, don't get greedy, no." And Joshua kind of looks over as if say, "Sorry, I'm staying out of the way." But the scary moments was when Joshua did get in close and tried to put some combinations together, because that's when Andy's arms just came to life, and that speed difference was there for all to see, and it was like, oh shit. But for me, I felt Joshua was really fit going into this and was able to he did catch a couple of shots up on that temple, that troublesome area. We've seen it with the White fight, the Klitschko fight, and the first Ruiz fight, but he seemed to take them and get out of trouble. And I really want to see Joshua work on trying to clinch, because Ruiz looks like a difficult guy to clinch because he wants to throw, so he's hard to get hold of, keep those arms down. But for me, Joshua going away off the back of a complete humiliation in New York, and to come back like this disciplined, like a mature, kind of, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, I'm going to win this with my left hand. I think it was a sort of like the sign of a champion, to be able to recognize problems and to come back and to make changes and to put things right that went wrong. This is an actual fight where someone had to put the wrongs right again. And I just think it was a really good performance. And you say Rob McCracken, I think he's hopefully people can now say the ones that wanted him to get rid of McCracken, but also a lot of credit has to go to Angel Fernandez. Joshua got involved. I think a lot of the fitness and the footwork and sort of pure like boxing is down to that guy. So a shout out to him. But Ruiz coming in at 287. I know there was the conspiracy that the sombrero weighed 15 pounds and he had weights in his pockets and around his ankles. But the minute he took off his robe in the ring, he looked every bit of 283 pounds or whatever it was. His dad even said fight night Andy was around 297. So a lot of honesty coming out of camp, the Ruiz camp, from the father, Manny Robles, and even Andy. But for me, that's really disappointing that this was his moment. The world thought it was a fluke, or some of the world thought it was a fluke, whatever. And he just didn't want to prove that wasn't the case. It was very poor on Ruiz's part to come in like that. But crazy. But Joshua's back where he was, kind of thing. So yeah, it was good. Very good performance in my opinion.
Agreed. Gary, let's get your thoughts on the fight. You were kind of rolling your eyes at Rob there about championship.
Do you want to make out with him too? That was a little hard to take. That was much. That was a bit much, right? Like, he fought a really smart fight. He fought a really disciplined fight. He did not give in. It reminded me of I don't use a baseball analogy, as a slap hitter without bat speed facing a flamethrower. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna try and slap singles. That's it, and like that's all I'm gonna do. He fought the fight he needed to fight, right? But that's all he can do, right? And I would have said that there's no way he can keep this up for 12 rounds. Eventually, Ruiz will get inside and knock him out. It didn't happen. He fought that well. He fought a really disciplined, perfect fight. It wasn't that impressive to me because it was just the same thing. And Ruiz didn't have any answers, but he didn't.
What do you mean by the same thing?
Joshua didn't need to adjust. Joshua could just jab, right hand, and Ruiz couldn't get on the inside.
You don't think there was adjustments from the first fight?
Oh no, from the first fight, absolutely. But I'm saying in fight.
Oh.
Obviously, he fought a totally different fight in the first fight. Absolutely. No, I'm saying Ruiz couldn't do anything. Had no success in pressuring him or getting in the inside outside of, like, I think it was the 8th round. He landed a few shots, like 2 right hands, never went crazy.
That's
like
the round 1, yeah.
No, he fought a really disciplined fight. It's just like I think he's limited. I think, like, if you were an AJ hater before the fight, this doesn't really change anything except that you think that Ruiz is undisciplined. Like, I don't see how he beats guys. He never looked comfortable. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, he looked like he's trying to get through these rounds. Let me get through these rounds. Okay, let me get through these 3 minutes. Let me get through the next 3 minutes. He never went for the knockout, which is not a big deal to me, but he doesn't look like Tyson Fury in his comfort zone. Or Billy Joe Sanchez, who's not going to knock you out, but is going to dominate off the back foot and style on you and impose his will as a boxer. He never had that. He looked like he was really fearful of Ruiz's power, and it was never really comfortable, even though he was winning round after round after round after round.
I get your point, Gary, and but I don't think that's an issue, because a fighter that has a defensive counterboxing game plan that is not a counterboxer. That's not a guy that's on the back foot, because AJ is not usually that guy. He can do it at times, like he did with Parker, but even then, looked uncomfortable in that performance, right? Because that's not his style. He's a guy that's in the mid-range. He wants to sort of walk you down and press you and then apply combinations. That's what he likes to do. So doing the exact opposite of that is going to make him uncomfortable naturally, in my opinion, just like in the Joseph Parker fight. And of course, he should be concerned about the power of Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz knocked him down 4 times and knocked him out. Like, I think absolutely he should be concerned about that in some aspect. I don't see that as negatives to AJ's performance at all. I think that's, to be honest, positives. Like, that's what you have to do. And to Robert's point about, it's a sign of a championship fighter, champions have to, when they're either scared of power, when they're worried about trying to fight a different fight than they're used to, but they do it anyways, and they win, that is absolutely a championship sort of caliber or championship material, because non-champions don't really do that. You don't see the perennial top 10s of the world being able to adjust like that, or being able to fight a fight that's not their style and fight it for 12 rounds and stay disciplined in that aspect. Okay? Yes, it wasn't a truly impressive performance, because I think the entertainment value was low, but it was impressive in the same way that, like, a Floyd Mayweather Juan Manuel Marquez fight is impressive. It is, absolutely.
I mean, I guess because he did fight Plan B, right? Because you're right, that's not his natural style. Like, that's not textbook Joshua, and he fought Plan B to perfection. I give him all credit. I think he fought really well. I think he fought a smart, disciplined fight and fought the fight he needed to fight. He's not going to beat Fury that way. He's not going to beat Usyk that way.
Absolutely. No. Well, first off, Usyk and Fury are not Andy Ruiz, so he shouldn't fight them this way. So yes.
Well,
shown another branch to the.
Usyk, who's short-armed, would still need to get on the inside of Joshua.
Usyk is still predominantly a boxer that doesn't have real heavyweight power.
Right. He'd have to get in and out on him, right? Because the reach advantage, now, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it would be pretty drastic, because if I'm correct, I think Usyk is pretty short-armed for a guy that's 6'3".
A little bit T-Rex arms, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the claim that he has to fight a different fight for these fighters is absolutely true. Like, same with Deontay Wilder in a fashion. Like, you can't fight this type of game plan with those guys, because all those guys are different. A championship level fighter adapts to each opponent and crafts a game plan for each opponent, because each opponent is unique in terms of their threats, their weaknesses. I mean, especially in the heavyweight division more so, I would say, because each guy is so unique in terms of their faults, in terms of their strengths. I think you're right, Gary, but I don't think that's a negative. Again, I feel like you're looking at it from a negative perspective, that if AJ can't have this performance against those guys. Well, of course not. I agree with you, but that's how he should be. He should craft a different game plan for Tyson Fury. Absolutely.
I don't want to get on the Wilder bandwagon to like a Wilder fanboy, but so if he can't fight Wilder going backwards, and you sure can't fight him coming forward, how's he going to fight him?
I don't know why you think he can't fight him going forwards.
Because he's going to eat a right hand, because he's not that mobile. Like, he's a good defensive fighter.
But then he works on that.
Is Wilder going to eat a right hand as well?
But then he works on that. Like, that's the thing. Like, if he rises to the occasion, he works on that head movement. He's able to slip off the center line with from that right hand and deliver his own, deliver a left hook. Like he has to adapt to the fight. Absolutely. Because I don't think he could have the same fight he had against, let's say, Dylan White or Charles Martin or Carlos Takam, like he did with Wilder. I think he can't have the same performance or game plan like he did with Parker or Andy Ruiz in the rematch as he should with Wilder. The Wilder game plan is going to be unique, or at least it should be. And hopefully, because of this whole Andy Ruiz situation, AJ knows that now, that he really has to be studious when it comes to game planning for a fighter. Because if he doesn't, he falls into traps like he did with Andy Ruiz. And I think that's hopefully the lesson he learns from this, right? I would say.
He's not going to try and box Tyson Fury, is he?
What I'm saying is, how does he beat these guys then? How does he beat Fury?
Otto Wallin walked Tyson Fury down and laid hands on him. Deontay Wilder, a guy that's not a great boxer, as we all said, right? Or as we all say, was able to, at times, walk down Tyson Fury, out-jab him at times, and land his right hand. Okay?
Yeah, but Wilder's got a really good jab. Like, he had a decent jab that's now really good, actually. Like, he's got a good jab.
AJ has a great jab, too.
He does. It's not as long as, I guess it's not much shorter than Wilder's, right?
What's Wilder's reach?
He was losing every round to Fury. So if that's the game plan you want to take, okay, you'll lose not by much.
Well, I think we can all say that AJ is a much better boxer when it comes to forward aggression, technically, than Deontay Wilder. So of course,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think AJ can have a lot of success against the top of the heavyweight division. Is he going to win all these fights? No, but I don't think any of these guys win all these fights. I think if that has not been made perfectly clear to you this last year, that there is not one guy that can dominate this division, then I don't know what you're smoking.
Usyk wins all of them.
Chaz Witherspoon laid hands on him.
First of all, Gary, you said it was a great performance. He'd done this. It was maybe even his best performance today.
I didn't say that. But continue.
I think he did before the start of the show. But
I don't know. I don't remember.
No, but now, but you're not impressed.
Robert.
But you're not impressed by it. I don't know. It's like some kind of.
I said it's not. What I said was, if you didn't like AJ, if you were a AJ hater, he didn't do anything to change your mind.
Which Gary is.
I'm not even. I like AJ. I don't like Eddie Hearn. I like AJ. AJ's a fighting champion. He fights everyone. He's a good guy. I like AJ just because I think.
Rewind the tape, Gary. You said it wasn't impressive, but just to let you know, at the moment, a Joshua Wilder match and a Joshua Tyson Fury match, they are pretty much even money fights at the moment, according to the bookies. So, and that's like what Matt's saying. These guys could beat each other. Look at Wilder losing rounds to Ortiz. Now, I'm not saying Joshua's got the skills of Ortiz as far, and he's a tricky southpaw or this, that, and the other. Yeah. But he was getting tagged up a little bit. He was taking shots. Now, if Joshua is to land with shots, whilst Wilder is looking for that, trying to land, put the heat-seeking missile on, we said how great he was, being patient, losing rounds, but staying patient, just looking for that opening. Whilst looking for that opening, could Joshua not tag him with something big and get him rocking and rolling a little bit and wobbling?
Of course he could, right? And let's put Usyk to the side for a moment. Let's look at like that three-headed monster there. Could both those guys outbox Wilder? Absolutely. Those guys could both. Could Wilder catch either one of those guys? Yeah, he already caught Fury and killed him. He could kill AJ too. I could see, there's definitely blueprints for all those guys to beat each other. I agree that there's not one. And I thought it was Fury up until the Otto Wallin fight. I said, no, Fury's beatable too.
Hold on, Rob. You have to admit, Fury did rise from the grave like Undertaker.
When people saying about, he's going to kill him, I'm like,
oh, I know. I don't like that phrasing.
Well, you're right, especially in the Waking thing. I won't use that again.
I think Brazil has been wiped off the face of it. Look, he just hasn't been on social media. Do you live on his street? If you did,
I'll be honest.
He's fine.
As somebody that does live kind of close to Brazil, not the country, Dominic Brazil. I've not seen him around lately, to be honest. I'm concerned.
He was wiped off the face of the earth, it seems. Holy shit.
But digressing, guys. I mean, I think we're in agreement that AJ crafted a good game plan. He boxed well in this fight, right? We're all in agreement there. Absolutely. Maybe we're in disagreement about how impressive that is or what that really means about him. But that I think that's fine. Like, we're in this division where everyone is sort of picking a horse right now.
I think where it's impressive is because of what happened in the first one. Just the complete domination. He was absolutely, he got battered for like 7 rounds. And to come in and be disciplined like that against the guy that done that to you, I think showed class.
Now, do we think this fight would have been different if Andy Ruiz came in here 100%? I'm not to really be that guy, but like he's doing this right now.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm not.
Because of that factor, are you interested in a trilogy at some point? I know there's not a lot of interest for it seems right now because I think the fight wasn't that entertaining, to be honest. I think that's more of the reason why. But
down the line, I think if he proves himself, I think Ruiz needs to go away and prove that he can take it seriously and come in good shape again for I don't know, like
Wanaki
and Ortiz would be the names. If he could beat those guys, then I'd be interested. But at this point, no. I mean, one of two things happened. Either you were outclassed and I have no interest in seeing it again, or you didn't take it serious. And I have no interest in seeing you again until you start taking boxing serious again. So at this point, no, I have no interest in seeing, especially with the names Dillian White, Usyk, Wilder, Fury. I don't really have interest in seeing that straight away.
I mean, just very quickly. I mean, Dillian White, really? Did you see his performance this Saturday?
I didn't think. I mean,
he was that.
You know what? Give him the PDs, guys. Just give him the PDs. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Please. I want the Lucas Brown performance again. I want that shit. But digressing from that.
He's out of shape, man.
Sure. He's out of
remember,
shape.
while he was out off and this whole thing was going on, he made it to the final of MasterChef. So he's obviously been practicing and eating 271 pounds. He was never going to do.
Dillian White did? He's got Jamaican heritage, right?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
They're good cooks. There's good food.
Just jerk chicken. There's a lot of jerk. Jerk anything.
Food in Jamaica.
Good fish.
Let's go to the co-main unless you guys have any other thoughts on AJ versus
Andy
Ruiz.
I think Gary is obviously doubly not looking forward to a trilogy because because Joshua
and then I'll if he beats Kwanaki and beats Ortiz, then I'm all for a trilogy, but not straight away off that.
No. I'm just your caveat for it was either I don't want to. If you didn't take it seriously, I don't want to see it again. And what was it?
If you took it serious, you just got outclassed like that. I don't really want to see it again either. So
he got outclassed, and he was didn't take it seriously. So doubly not looking forward to a trilogy right now.
But I will say this though.
I don't.
Quickly,
Matt, to answer your question, I don't think with that game plan, I don't think taking it seriously in shape, Andy Ruiz would have made a lot of difference. Personally, that's how I feel.
Potentially, obviously, because there did seem to be like a lack of game plan there. But then again, is that lack of game plan more a fault of his lack of athleticism in the fight due to him just being out of shape? Because he really couldn't get his counters off, really couldn't get his combinations off the way he did in the first fight. You know, those are just questions I do have, but the questions I'm not like urgently wanting the answers of right now, like you guys. Like I don't need them answered right this second.
And we used to make a big deal, AJ for some guy at 6'5", 250. But is this a better weight for him? Like, is 236?
100%.
I kind of felt that way too. Like, this is where he should be. The 245, 250. I think he got as high as it was too big for him.
Way too bulky.
Yeah. I've said for the longest that he's just. It's like he confidence in his muscles or whatever. I can't think of the film, but
Borat.
It might have been.
You had a Borat accent there, so I just assumed it was Borat.
High five.
High five. My wife.
But for me, the leaner, less bulky Joshua is a much better Joshua. I think there's more speed there. And the muscles don't matter regarding punching harder because there's speed in the punches. There's more snap in the punch. That right hand, I think it rocked Ruiz, the one that cut his eye. It's a kind of not like hurt him and really wobbled him, but I think there was a semi moment of oh shit, glazed over. That like shit, where'd that come from? And I think that was evident. But
and more importantly than I think just that is the speed is that in order to get that head movement we're talking about to really fight like a guy like Deontay Wilder, he needs to be leaner.
Yeah.
Like if he's too bulky, he can't literally move his body as fluid as if he is when he's lean. So just from a pure defensive standpoint, to get the head movement I think he needs in terms of slipping off the center line, that subtle movement, a la like let's say like a Marvin Hagler, or I mean, God willing, a James Toney ability to slip off the center line but keep walking forward. If he could have that, then he could really give all these guys issues. But he doesn't have that right now, mainly due to I think his bulky nature and that sort of robotic movement he has based off of that frame.
Yeah, I mean, look, that was one of the the robot can move pretty well now. You know, everything that was leveled at Joshua. That he's mentally weak. He should retire. He's a robot. He's stiff. He's got no cardio. He's chinny. I don't know. A lot of those were ticked, as in sort of dismissed off the list. Personally, but
Hey, Rob, I have a question.
yes,
Who got hands put on more? Did Usyk get more hands put on him against Witherspoon, or did AJ get more hands put on him by Ruiz
in the second fight?
In the second fight,
Ruiz landed more.
What?
I was giving you a layup, Rob. You got it wrong. How'd you miss that layup?
I was giving you a
I don't want that layup because I'm sticking by my original point of Witherspoon didn't put hands on Usyk. No, I will.
Taking that to the grave.
Yep.
All right. I like the discipline.
Yeah, I'm not falling for that.
Oh my god, I'm so disappointed in you, Robert.
Do you want me to compy box it?
No, we're good. Let's go. Well, one fight was 12 rounds. One is 7. So I mean, literally one fight's half the length.
So we'll never know.
Well, actually, you know what? Rob, check it up. While I'm getting this, while I'm presenting the next fight, bring it up. Why not? Fuck it.
What, Joshua Ruiz and all that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have more because Witherspoon really only touched him up the first couple of rounds, and then after that,
Yeah, but Andy literally didn't throw anything.
He really didn't.
So,
Then 2 right hands, and everyone's like, "Oh, here we go, here we go." It's like
that was me. I was like, "Oh my god, something's happening, guys! Finally, please." But while Rob is looking that up, because I'm just curious, just for the old argument's sake, that Witherspoon did touch up Usyk. Povetkin versus Michael Hunter turned out to be more of a decent fight than I predicted. I thought this fight was going to be really bad, to be honest. I had very low expectations for this fight. And it produced a pretty interesting heavyweight fight. Michael Hunter, I thought his combination work overall was far better than what we've previously seen it. He was far more willing to exchange on the inside with Povetkin. That was surprising. His willingness to sort of go to the body of Povetkin at times was surprising as well. I thought Hunter just fought a gutsy performance. And then on top of that, the Charlie Chaplin speech that he played to walk out with, just bravo to Michael Hunter. And I tweeted this out on Saturday night. Like, has anyone heard from him? We should be concerned. I'm so concerned. Have we heard from Michael Hunter? Oh, he did. He tweeted today. He's safe now. He's safe. He's good. But that was ballsy. That was ballsy from Hunter. Respect to him for that.
He put a poll out, right?
Yeah, he did, for what fight he should take next. Obviously, I would want the Povetkin fight next, because that's probably the best opponent you can get at this point, just from a ranking standpoint. And plus, it was a more entertaining fight than I thought it would be. But not saying it was a fight of the year contender or anything like that. Just thought it was more entertaining than it was thought of. But Povetkin is looking a little bit older in terms of his reflexes, in terms of his overall just form. So I'm curious what the expiration date is on Alexander Povetkin's career. But digressing, guys, Hunter versus Povetkin fought to a split draw. Thoughts?
I actually don't know what you're talking about as far as the Chaplin. I didn't see the ring walk of the entrance. I didn't even. I have no idea what you're talking about. I really don't.
You know the Charlie Chaplin, like the dictator speech?
The great dictator.
The great dictator?
Oh, because Chaplin didn't talk. So I don't know what either of those things are. Chaplin was a silent film guy.
Do you think I can get away with playing it? The audio, Rob?
I'll find it after the show. If it's famous, I'll find it. Right? Like it should be hard to
type
find.
in Charlie Chaplin speech on YouTube.
Okay.
It is one of the most amazing speeches in all of cinema history.
So actually, I don't know that, and then
basically the speech is all about like mankind coming together to fight for democracy, and he's playing in Saudi Arabia.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Okay.
So it was pretty cool.
Well, yeah, whilst dressed as Predator.
Yeah, the Predator costume was so cool though.
No.
It was. if you have a cheap like Halloween store Predator mask,
no, I get you, but still. If you're the bounty hunter, if you are like he always put like coming for that bounty, Mandalorian is on point right now.
I see what you're doing here, Rob.
You know what I mean?
No, hey, I get it, Rob. I get it.
So yeah, the Predator thing.
He missed a viral moment potentially, because that would have been
Although
Baby Yoda. Get like a Baby Yoda like puppet with you, dude. Viral, instant.
Yeah. Is just I would have taken him more seriously with the Great Dictator speech, the Chaplin speech, if he wasn't dressed as fucking Predator.
Yeah, if he was dressed as a fictional bounty hunter in the Star Wars universe, that would be okay.
If he'd gone with the little mustache and
no, you can't do that.
No, but
you would get it, Rob. Gary, if you watched the speech, because he plays Hitler.
I figured that's who the Great Dictator was when you said that, given the era, whatever.
No. If I know my dictators,
if I know my
Hitler was a great one. He was a great all time, pound for pound. Anyway,
in Italy, we had a pretty good one too, a fascist one. He was pretty good.
And you know what? In Spain, we had one as well. Great times.
We'll power rank the dictators.
Probably. Rob.
We're voting for one now.
Digressing. Hunter Povetkin, thoughts on the fight, guys?
I thought Hunter looked good. Again, when you say the combination work, the body work, I don't think that Hunter should have engaged as much as he did on the inside, because I thought he won the fight from the outside. But I like the body work. I like a lot of things Hunter did. And then like, what's Povetkin's expiration date? I mean, I think as a legitimate heavyweight championship, like a title contender, I think that's over with. But then it's like, well, he can be a top 10 to 15 guy probably for a few more years. So I mean, it's what does he want to do? Is he okay with being a top 15 guy? Because he could probably extend his career 3 or 4 more years. Or if he really only wants to fight the best names, then that's over with.
I largely agree with that. Rob, thoughts on the actual X's and O's, Povetkin Hunter?
Yeah, after I got over the Predator suit,
not being Star Wars Mandalorian.
Just the Predator suit. It didn't have to be anything. Just, I don't know.
It was so good. I don't know what you're hating on. That was a great suit.
I'm not hating on it. I'm just like, just fucking get to the ring and let's watch the fight. I'm not like when Wilder came out. He's slowly progressing, and that outfit is growing.
This one's better. Predator Mask was better than
speaking of Great Dictator, Wilder looked like fucking Sacha Baron Cohen as the Dictator.
It's, you know why? It's the shoulder pad things.
Yeah. But anyway, the fight, Hunter Povetkin, let's get there. That was a good fight. The way Hunter came out from the first bow, it just erupted. I was like, oh my God, Povetkin's not going to take, we're not going to take this. But, shout out to Povetkin. He dug in there. And I think at times he kind of old manned Hunter a little bit. The experience come through, and I've got to say, I feel Povetkin was robbed of a knockdown. The ropes held Hunter up, pretty much. A lot of people tend to agree with me on that one. But a draw, I wasn't angry with the result. I wouldn't mind if people had it either way, to be honest, like by a round or whatever. But
PSK bringing a better comparison. Wilder looked like Shredder from Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's a good one. I like that one.
I'm thinking of when he arrived at the arena
with like the Hasalasi like military uniform, right? You think of that?
Yeah, people were like, "Is Sammy Michael Jackson?" I went with more Sacha Baron Cohen as the Dictator. Yeah. But then his actual ring attire, that's growing. That's gone from a gold like beak. What else has got a gold beak? No, anyway, a gold beak kind of thing. Then it was the gold beak with a crown, and that is, I don't know. It's like,
why do you care? You love Prince Nassim.
Yeah, but he
you can't hate on Prince. I mean, you can't love on Prince Nassim and then like hate on anyone else having a long entrance or having an extra
like that on a flying carpet. I'm cool.
That's high production value, man. And plus, I think it'd be a little bit insensitive for him to be on a flying carpet. It wouldn't make sense. if he did that in Saudi Arabia, I'd be like, yo, Wilder, stop, man. What are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like, Prince Nassim could do it because he's Middle Eastern. It's different.
Yeah.
But digressing. What are we all? Do we want a rematch? Hunter Povetkin?
It was a WBA eliminator, so I think they might have to.
You're gonna have to do it again. I mean, they don't have to. I mean, it's not. But yeah,
Everyone seemed to. I see some people suggest they don't think it will, but I think it's kind of got to, right?
With who's available, right? Like, and who's busy. Like, it makes a lot of sense. The fight was good. It was a good fight. So I don't see why you wouldn't.
Maybe we get Mamon Char and Fraser Kendo.
Stop. Moving on. Dylan White defeating Marius Wach via unanimous decision in the most boring fight of the weekend. Again, I said it before the show started, I think, or maybe it was when the show started. Just give him all the steroids. Like, I don't care anymore, guys. Like, I just want to see an exciting heavyweight fight. And most of them are on steroids, or as my homie Nate Diaz would say.
Everybody's on steroids. The whole UFC, everybody.
Everyone, all in sports, everyone.
By the way,
Russia just got banned from the Olympics and the World Cup, so everyone's on steroids, guys.
There's all this talk of like going under like a neutral flag, right?
Oh,
So can Russia actually
find a loophole
compete if they want? Yeah, just don't carry a Russian flag. Simples. But
simples.
Just let Dillian White get back into shape. All this stuff, whether you're rolling with it or not, UCAD has said what they've said. I know it's like we wish we knew more, but they've said he's not guilty of any wrongdoing, so he can get on with his career as such. And I don't know, maybe now he'll get into shape. And
hopefully,
yeah,
because this was bad. Like this was a bad performance.
Yeah. I mean, he copped a thumb in the eye. Have you seen his eye since he's finished? That was like, I bet that shit's fucking horrible. But it wasn't like scintillating stuff. It was just two big out of shape guys
fighting,
trying to like lump hammer each other, and neither guy was kind of shifting.
These are the type of like heavyweight fights that makes me hate the heavyweight division at times. Are these fights?
I know what you mean. But we'll hopefully see it in shape. I don't want to see a whack again, but an in shape Dillian White. Yeah, I'm down to see that again. Don't worry.
Quickly, PSK saying Hauser getting sued. No, he's not, because UCAD. He did test for something. He had metabolites in his system. They had a process. That was 100% the reporting of Thomas Hauser. Why would he get sued when his reporting was correct? He didn't say that Dylan White should be crucified. He just said Dylan White was tested positive. UCAD's going through a process. Guess what? That's 110% true. I know you UK fans hate the idea of Thomas Hauser being a Hall of Fame, literally a Hall of Fame reporter, but he is. Robbie trying to play a soundbite.
No, I was trying to not make the YouTube play.
Oh, I was like, that was a soundbite.
By the way, Andy Ruiz landed 60 punches.
Oh, thank you.
That's 5 per round.
That's 5 per round.
Very good, guy. Very good. See what you did there.
Now what's Witherspoon? Do you have that?
Had to land more, I don't know. He landed more than he landed more than 5 a round because he landed way more than that in the first couple rounds.
Probably the rate's higher, but that doesn't mean
way more. He says,
but that's not
5 per round.
Hang on,
I like the goalpost shift, Gary. I approve of that goalpost shift. That was a good one. What's the rate of punches?
It's the question how you want to get the answer, you know.
Anyways, as Rob is looking at that, Filip Hrgović defeating Eric Molina in a fight that probably no one needed to see, but we saw it.
I didn't see it, so.
Oh yeah, you didn't need to see it.
Go back and watch it, Gary. Is that?
No, it was rough.
I don't know what happened. Molina done exactly what I thought Molina would do, and turn his back, run away, hide, and then had this one moment of, I don't know, like, fuck it, I'm gonna have a go, and he just swung his little fucking drummer boy arms off, and like he put hands on Hrgović for like 30 seconds of a round, caught him with some big shots, and I mean Hrgović ate them up no problem, but Molina complained. He was every trick he could do. He's punched me in the back of the head, the gum shield came out, everything. I mean, he did get punched in the back of the head. It's because he was facing the wrong way. So, yeah, Molina. I don't want to see Molina in the ring ever again.
No, I mean, I'm not for one for saying that fighters take dives, but holy shit, Molina, what were you doing in there? I mean, like, honestly, like, you did not want to be there. Clearly.
He got knocked down like 4 times, and I think he only got counted as one of them.
It was a 3-round fight too, guys. Like, it lasted 3 rounds. Like, we can move on. It's so bad.
I'm ready to see Hrgovic sort of face someone now. Like,
yeah, because he's good. Like, he's talented, but he's fighting guys that it's hard to gauge how talented he is.
I mean,
to be honest.
From the Sutherlands, it has been very difficult to get him opponents, and I guess understandably, but yeah, well, I don't want to see Molina face a heavy puncher because he like takes one on the arms and it's like, fuck this. Can I get my check? Is the money gone through?
I'm pulling Molina's Texas card. That's it. He's got to give it up.
Yeah, do it.
He doesn't get to keep his Texas.
No, he shouldn't. That's not Texas fighting. It was bad. Like I said, like, even though you haven't seen it, like, you don't need to see it because we are 100% accurately just like telling you how shitty it was and how much of it looked like a dive. To be honest, I know you guys don't know this reference, but I know like 5 people listening will. Bob Sapp in MMA, known for taking dives in Japan. Look up Bob Sapp takes a dive on YouTube. Just type that in. Enjoy yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit. You guys think like soccer players like Neymar is rolling around crying for nothing? Wait till you see Bob Sapp fighting. And Eric Molina is on that level now. Bad. Just really atrocious.
Witherspoon landed 21 punches.
Witherspoon landed 21?
Mm-hmm.
Comfy box is rigged.
Yep, I'm with Matt.
Because Andy Ruiz did not land 60 punches. There's no way he landed 60 goddamn punches. He landed 5.
What lands? It landed. You know, it glanced off the top of his head. That's I guess that's a landing blow. Like,
that's what fucked Joshua up in the first fight, Gary. Did that not count?
True, yeah.
And quickly, just a brief comment on Majidov defeating Tom Little. And Diego Pacheco defeating Salemi, some guy.
Is that guy okay?
I have no idea, bro.
Holy crap.
Yo, I was concerned.
I found that kid from. Oh my god! But Pacheco destroyed that. Dear poor boy. Oh my god.
And Tom Little got destroyed as well.
Oh yeah, that punch. Oh my god! And then it was like, okay, and then the legs just went nah.
Any last thoughts on Ruiz versus Joshua 2?
Yeah, you know, it's something different. I mean, I personally felt that the setup of it, I thought it looked great, but those big illuminated pillars proved to be a poor spot if you had a ticket that one of those was directly in front of. Declan Taylor, the boxing writer over here, he went and before he was there very early, sat in one of those seats and said, "You gotta be fucking raging if you've got this seat." You could literally see one corner and then the other corner. The rest of the ring was taken up by that like illuminated column. So I think come the time the fight started, those seats were actually not being used because you couldn't see anything. But no, I thought it looked good. The card, I think the experiment with heavyweights, we don't need to see that again.
To do this back in the 90s on Mike Tyson cards, like you'd have every heavyweight in the stable fight on this end.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that's a good idea. You might get some spectacular knockouts, and you might get some drab 12-round or 10-round long ass kind of fights. Maybe with the right matchups, it's all right. I enjoyed Hunter perfecting underneath the main event. That was fine, but like a whole card, I'm not sure that's.
No, it's trash. It's trash.
Yeah,
heavyweight boxing's trash usually. But digressing from that, the fight was good. I liked the main event. Obviously, AJ having the performance he did and adjusting was impressive. And we can move on. Jamal Charlo defeating Dennis Hogan.
What you gonna do, brother?
Via 7th round TKO. And I was on Showtime, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Just had to I need to add that.
What was that?
Showtime, by the way.
Not over here. It was on.
Still in the boxing business. I was unaware of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But
shame they're not in the ITV business, but never mind.
It happens. But Jamal Charlo, I mean, really, Dennis Hogan had no business being in the ring with Jamal Charlo. Like, honestly, like Dennis Hogan was a junior middleweight, and it was apparent in the ring.
Jamal Charlo comes up from 154 also.
Yeah, but he's been at 160 now for a year and a half, 2 years.
Well, this is his 1, 2. This is like his fifth fight there, fourth or fifth fight there.
So he's going on 2 years in the division.
We'll call it 2 years. Yeah,
it shows. He's built into a middleweight. Dennis Hogan was brought up after a loss, and was at 154 in his last fight. And plus, he is just smaller. He is a true junior middleweight, while Charlo was always a giant junior middleweight.
Big middleweight, yeah.
Charlo's power, his speed was just apparent and evident in this fight from the get-go. His shot selection was on point this time. But then again, Hogan's a guy that was going to give him this fight, was going to give him a TKO win. Why? Because Hogan exchanges. Hogan has a die on my shield mentality, as we saw with Munguia. He didn't obviously get knocked out by Munguia, but Munguia tried. Munguia's not that good. Charlo is really good. And Charlo is a middleweight. And those two things alone were apparently different from the Hogan-Munguia fight. I don't want to see Charlo with any more of these fights. He's on that list of certain guys where I'm just ready for them to fight great competition right now, because they're obviously ready for that. They're there for that. And the division's filled with great talent. So why are we still getting these matchups? Hopefully, the next fight for him is a Derevchenko or somebody of that ilk. Hell, pull Rob Brandt, pull Moreta, pull somebody that we semi-know and is a relevant top 10 or top 15 middleweight. Please. Please. Let alone a Demetrius Andrade unification, which I would love, and I think is completely available for you guys. No one's fighting Andrade. You guys can take that fight right now if you want it. Pay Eddie Hearn and match him the money. Get Andrade over there to Fox. Make that fight. Okay? I am just so far beyond these matchups for Jamal Charlo. But definitely a really impressive fight in terms of just adjusting from the last few performances. Now, I do think there are significant differences from this fighter compared to Brandon Adams, but I do think that Charlo showed better shot selection in this fight than his previous ones, a return to just better accuracy with his shots as well. And plus, I thought he was far more fluid in this fight than he was in past fights. What the reason is for these changes, I don't know, but good to see the changes, at least, even if they're minor adjustments. And plus the opponent being a made-to opponent for Jamal Charlo. But digressing from that, Gary, I know you were there in New York at the Barclays Center. Thoughts on Charlo defeating Dennis Hogan?
It was the performance he needed. I said last week's show, I think he's going to get back. He's going to have a spectacular performance. He's going to look good, and he's going to kind of erase a lot of those, the bad taste in our mouth from his last two fights. He really needed a performance like that. His last two fights, the Adams fight was a disaster, and the Korobov fight he arguably lost. He really needed this performance. I thought he really looked good. The power shots were there. I would have liked to see a little more body work, because when he went to the body, he had success. It's just there wasn't a whole lot of it.
He was headhunting. Yeah.
He was headhunting a lot. The accuracy still isn't 100% back to where he was when he was at 54, but it was a lot better. He wasn't loading up and missing by 6 inches like he was against Brandon Adams. I thought the performance was really good. I'm not ready for a Canelo fight just yet, but one more. Let's have him fight Andrade. I think it's going to be Eubank. That's my gut feeling, it is what it is. Just don't let it be Korobov again. Let's not do that again. But Jamal Charlo is my favorite fighter, and a lot of you guys don't know that because I haven't had anything to celebrate in his last couple of fights. Like being a Knicks fan or a Cleveland Browns fan, it's like there's nothing. He looked so bad his last two fights. This was the performance he needed. He did a lot of the left hand, the left hook, and the left uppercut was so money all night. There's still, I think he needs to get a little sharper if he's going to fight Canelo. But he's back projecting. He's on the right track. Whatever went wrong in those last two fights, I think he's gone a long way in tweaking that and fixing that.
I agree. Rob?
Don't have to make out with the guy, you know what I mean, Gary? I mean, Jesus. No, it's hard to say like, oh, you know, he done what he was supposed to do. You know, that coming into it, you know, it was never something like, oh, this is like people were like, yeah, but you know, he arguably beat Munguia. Yeah, for a completely different division. But I know Hogan has fought at 160. I think he's even fought at 168. But I don't know. He done what he had to do, and yet he done it in good fashion. So I can't hate on that. But just we need to find Jamal Charlo like a name. He's got to fight a name, and
Eubank is a name. He's not a great fighter, but
yeah, but he's now pulling A side shit, saying like, if he keeps talking, he ain't getting no fucking opportunity with me. He keeps running his mouth, he isn't getting a chance. Well, isn't that what Canelo done to you and you didn't like it? I don't know.
Let's do the Andre fight then. Let's just make that fight.
He knows where to come.
The unified middleweight champ.
I mean, realistically, that fight does make a lot of sense because neither guy really has a fight lined up, honestly.
Yeah, each other kind of, you know.
And they've been linked together for such a long time, from back at 154. So how do we think we play matchmaker, play promoter here, guys? How do we get to that fight?
I didn't send them over. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think that the Canelo fight is next. Unless he's fighting Canelo next, I don't think it's a problem. You know,
Triple G,
here, I'm ready. Here's my deal. You give me, I'll send Andre over. If he beats Andre, you get the Canelo fight on the zone. You're gonna say no to that? No, that's a win-win.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just don't know if they think that way. I don't know. Like, there does seem to be this mindset between these two parties, in particular, the DAZN, Matchroom entity and conglomerate, and PBC and Fox and Showtime conglomerate, that they don't want to work together, like, at all.
I just feel like Canelo versus
Andrade?
No, I'm sorry. Canelo versus Charlo in Texas. It makes too much sense. It's got to happen at some point. Like, it's got to. Canelo's already sold out 3 different venues in 3 different cities in Texas, right?
It will happen when Canelo becomes his own promoter.
That's years from now, but yeah.
When he's 160 again.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I just think the powers that be are going to keep making bad fights because they can, and a lot of us accept it, to be honest. So I think we're going to get a Andrade Luke Keeler fight. Obviously, that's being talked about. That was announced. I think it's official now, right? Is it official?
He's been given the green light for it. I don't know if it's actually announced.
You could pay him money to step aside, though. Like, I mean, you can.
No, you can. But we're gonna get that.
Can we try to stay? Positive on this?
The best case scenario for Charlo next is Derevchenko. That is the best case scenario.
And you'd rather Derevchenko than Eubank, right? You think Derevchenko's a better fight? Yes. Okay, just making sure. Because you didn't think Derevchenko was so good going into the Canelo fight.
You mean
into the Triple G fight? You didn't think that guy was? You said he was like, eh.
Yeah, I thought Triple G, prime Triple G, should wash Derevchenko, and we didn't see a prime Triple G.
Yeah, he was sick 5 weeks.
He had the flu. Yes, of course.
But, yeah, Gary's out here trolling right now, saying like the Canelo fight. Poor Canelo wanted to have that fight, but his promoter was like, nah, we ain't doing that. Oh wait, where's your belt gone? Oh, my bad. But no, I don't know. Charlo, yeah, I guess that Andre fight makes sense to me. I don't know. Can you get a Murata? Can you get a Rob Brandt? I don't know. Like ESPN guys, right? So, or seemingly. So I don't know.
Yeah, but they're also like low-level names in a sense, like that. Where you think that you could pull them from a network.
Yeah, so no reason Charlo can't go over to DAZN for Andrade either.
Because no, there is an issue. Let's be honest, Rob. I know you're kind of trolling here, but like, there's no argument for Andrade to be A side. To make Charlo come to his network. There's no argument for that.
Who was the A side in
Ramirez? Not let him go over there. That's not happening.
So I didn't hear Rob's statement because of you, Gary. What did you say?
Who was the A side for Ramirez and Hooker?
Ramirez and Hooker? In my opinion,
yeah,
Ramirez, but Bob Arum let that fight go over because they got the Saucedo fight. That was kind of a quid pro quo situation there, Rob.
I don't know if that's...
It wasn't laid out that way, but that's kind of what it was. Because ESPN got Saucedo Hooker on ESPN. Saucedo lost. And they was like, oh, can Ramirez fight him? And like, yeah, fight him on DAZN. They're like, okay, give us a huge check and we'll fight him on DAZN. And they did.
I guess maybe. But, I mean, the one major factor we were all missing regarding making Charlo versus Andrade is the WBO champion. So...
Yeah, but no, it's Showtime, man. That's a Fox issue.
That's a Fox issue.
That's not a PBC issue?
No. That's because Showtime talks about WBO champions. That's a conversation.
That's a production thing, right?
It's 100% a production thing, and it's a Fox production thing. I don't know why they do that. I think it's because, to be honest, totally speculation here.
Showtime need whatever they can get.
Maybe that. But Fox is more of a... They're angling when it comes to the Spence Crawford fight. It is very clear in the Bill Wenger interview that like Wilder Fury is a done deal, so they can't really talk about that as much in terms of like, trying to seem like they're better than ESPN or better than what's happening over there. But with Spence Crawford, that fight hasn't happened yet. There's no deal yet, so therefore they can sort of act like the bigger thing in town, act like they don't exist, for leveraging and negotiation purposes. I think that's what it is.
And if they got that fight, if Fox got that fight, they'd get rid of their WBO doesn't count mentality and they'd sell it as a unification fight. Like that would
absolutely.
Is Wilder Fury 2 done?
Yes. We're gonna get to it, but yeah, it's done. We're gonna get to the whole $20 million offer in a second. Don't worry.
Where's the announcement?
I feel like we've been having this conversation for a while that Wilder Fury 2 is done. Like I feel like this
Look,
is
man, if you have Fox, you have ESPN execs, you have Bob Arum, you have Tim Smith, you have literally everyone out there saying it's done, guys, relax. I feel like we don't need to have this conversation every show about whether this fight's done or not. Do we? Do we need to have this conversation?
Just announce it already.
Okay, then go at them. Go email Bill Wagner or Wenger.
Just talk about it on a boxing show. That was all.
What do you want me to say? Everybody involved is saying it's done, Rob, and they've been saying that for months.
Venue? Do you think it's maybe still the venue because that was still up in the air? Do you think maybe
Probably.
the recent Vegas numbers,
money,
CERN?
I think site fees are the number one thing promoters and networks think about right now because that offsets costs.
Does it not a consideration with ticket sales that both Wilder and Fury haven't done?
It's not about ticket sales, about gate revenue.
Yeah, which need to come via selling a ticket, right?
Yes and no. I mean,
hold on. The Fury fight, the attendance was what 8,000, something like that. The attendance for Wilder. No, but the attendance for Wilder, just for those that don't understand, are the listeners, right? Wilder Ortiz 2 was around 10,000, about 2,000 more people, but they made $4 million in gate, while Fury and Wallin made $800,000 in gate.
Yeah.
A Wilder Fury fight in terms of the markup is going to be so high that they're going to make money in Vegas regardless. But as we know, and to the same degree, because of what happened this last weekend to Ruiz Joshua, and now we have Oscar out there saying, yeah, Canelo, Saudi Arabia, we can go there.
Or Japan, by the way.
Did he say that?
Yeah. On
Oscar said that?
No. Canelo said, don't be surprised if I fight in Japan.
Oh, Maeda. Ooh, that's a big money fight. But again, site fees, man. Like it, who's the highest bidder out there in the world right now for this fight? Whatever fight we're talking about, that's where a fight's gonna be likely placed at this point in time.
I don't know about the world, but in America, but
Wilder Fury 2? What do you mean? You don't think Saudi Arabia is bidding for that?
I just don't think that one will go out of the States. Maybe if they do the third one.
I don't think it would, but I absolutely think Saudi Arabia is bidding on that fight. They already did ask. They already did ask Fury when he's in Saudi Arabia. Hey, we want you here. Remember, like that was a news story when he did the whole WWE shit there. So, they absolutely are going to bid on a Wilder Fury 2 fight. That's one of the biggest fights in boxing that can be made right now. I think Wilder Fury 2 is a bigger fight than AJ Ruiz. Not in terms of maybe money gain, because the money gained from that site fee is insane. I don't know if Wilder Fury in Vegas makes an equal $100 million site fee. But in terms of just attention, Wilder Fury 2 is a gigantic fight. They're getting good bids everywhere. But digressing from that point, because we're supposed to talk about Charlo Hogan. No, there's some good fights here. I mean, we're going to get to one after we talk about Eubank getting a very lucky win here. Unless anyone else has anything to say about Charlo Hogan.
No.
No? All right. Chris Eubank versus Matt Korobov.
Are you going to pay Charlo some more respect for that performance? That was the comeback performance he needed.
No, it wasn't. It was a comeback performance. Was it the one he needed? No.
It was just against the guy he didn't need.
Yeah.
Who arguably won a world title at 154.
Yeah, but against Jaime Munguia, who we all think is overhyped and not really a champion.
Is just the biggest
blown up Obali.
A blown up Obali. Ooh. No, Obali's better. Obali's better.
Alike, but that's okay.
They kind of fight alike. What are you talking about?
Obali is athletic. McGee is just big.
Digressing from that point, Chris Eubank picked up a win against Matt Korobov because Matt Korobov blew out his shoulder or dislocated his shoulder or something. But I will say this. Obviously, we only had like one round of actual action. But Matt Korobov he was touching Eubank up.
I know that was going to, and you're right.
He landed more shots on Eubank in one round than Witherspoon landed on Usyk in 7.
See, something's wrong with that CompuBox for that Witherspoon Usyk fight. They were paid off.
It's subjective, right? Like it's. I mean, you sit there to that. Okay, I don't want to. I don't want to do that again.
Do what? Go to a Eubank fight?
No, the CompuBox.
Oh,
the Korobov starts fast. When Korobov fought Aleem, he won all the early rounds and lost the late rounds. When he fought Charlo, he won all the early rounds and lost the second half of the fight, right? So Korobov winning the first round again, and he did. He looked really good in the first round. That doesn't mean that was an indicator of how that fight was going to turn
That's
out.
That's not why I said he was going to win the fight, because he won the first round. Because he was
I picked him to win the fight too. We both did.
No, but Gary, hold on. He outclassed him, and he was legit touching him up. That left hand was landing at will to a point where I'm legitimately concerned whether Eubank has ever fought a southpaw in his life. He had no idea that left hand was coming.
James DeGale.
Well, I know he has, guys. I know it's a joke. It's part of the joke.
Oh, sorry. I thought you just didn't realize.
No, I know. Okay, but
I just thought you were a bad boxing fan.
No, Chris Eubank is just a bad boxer. Okay, because again, he looked like he was just surprised these left hands were landing at will, and he was doing nothing to evade the shot, doing nothing to really get in position for his shots. Again, Eubank is such a bad boxer. Like honestly, how is he like the son of Chris Eubank Sr.? Because Chris Eubank Sr. was a good boxer at least. You know, like he literally has like no skill. I'm sorry. I think Chris Eubank Jr. would lose to Emmanuel Aleem too. He would lose.
Yeah, if they fought again. Aleem would be in for sure.
I think Eubank loses to almost every top 10 middleweight right now.
I don't think it's genetic, right?
Matt, I don't know if you're really old enough to remember Senior. Chris Eubank Senior was really good, like really good.
Rob can attest to that. One of his favorite fighters.
With the boxer. Whereas his son's just a fucking windmill.
So bad. And any thoughts, guys, on Eubank Korobov?
I would like to have seen some more rounds of that.
Of course.
Well, not maybe exactly that, because I'd like to have seen it competitive. But yeah, it's a shame. I mean, fucking poor Matt Korobov had the bad draw, the bad result against Charlo.
Charlo won that fight. I mean, there are people who thought Korobov won. Charlo won that fight.
Yeah, okay.
Sure, man. It's okay. Relax. It's okay.
And now the shoulder. He just can't catch a break.
It's sad.
It is, but yeah, I mean, it was ballsy of Eubank. Hadn't fought since February. I know I'm going to go down a division, and my first comeback fight of the year, I'm going to fight Matt Korobov. Jesus, but yeah, I know we can't judge the whole fight off of that one round we saw, but it was maybe going to be a rough night. But instead, is he now what the WBA something or other?
Interim WBA champion.
Interim.
Fuck out of here.
And Canelo's going to drop that belt, which you know what that means. That means they're going to move.
No, who's the regular? The regular is Murata. The regular is Murata.
That was 160.
Oh, you're right.
You're thinking 168, bro.
No, Canelo is the WBA, but then the regular would Murata would become the super champ, and then he'd become the regular champ. Okay, so it still wouldn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter, no. And then they would just make another vacant interim title fight.
Who would be the gold? That's all I need to know.
Fuck out of here. Marlon Tapales losing in a really fun back-and-forth fight against Raisuke Iwasa in the opener of the card. Iwasa really having a return to form in this performance. I think his jab was on point. Obviously, the power shots just seemed to be landing at will on Tapales.
The lead right hook was money.
It was. Like, he looked really good in this fight. And it was a nice reminder of how impressive like a guy like TJ Doheny was in beating him. It just put in perspective Iwasa's last few fights and losses that, no, this guy's really good. And if you've beaten him, that means you're really good.
Well, I like that, right? Because when Doheny beat Iwasa, it was like, okay, well, Iwasa's washed. Well, no, he's not, like, because you know what I'm saying? Like, it does, because Doheny was one of those guys like, yeah, but who did he beat? And when you say Iwasa, yeah, Iwasa was shot, though. No, he's not. Like, that was the best performance I can think of from Iwasa, and I picked Tapales, right?
I thought I did too.
It might be a high action fight, but Tapales would win. I thought Iwasa offensively, he still got touched up a lot. He got hit a lot, which he's always gonna. But offensively, he looked really good.
Yeah, I was really impressed by Iwasa, and again, you know, from the Lee Haskins defeat he had via TKO KO in 2015, he's had a good bounce back from that. And obviously the loss to Doheny in retrospect, especially with Doheny Roman as well, doesn't look like a bad loss at all. And plus, that was a great fight as well. Doheny Iwasa, guys, go back and watch that fight. That was a fantastic fight. It's going to be interesting to see what Iwasa does because, you know, Japanese fighters, there's so much flexibility with them in terms of who they can fight with, what U.S. banners they could fight with. And 122 is a legitimately stacked division nowadays. So excited to see what fight he picks next because he does have some options here.
Louis Neary.
Who's the full IBF champ?
It's Roman, isn't it?
Danny Roman.
I would not. Hey, Roman Iwasa would be fantastic. That'd be a great fight. Not the fight I necessarily want right now, but that's a fantastic fight. Neary. Obviously, because, you know, Iwasa just fought on PBC. Neary going up to 122. Yeah, I would take that. And I mean, Neary has a track record with Japanese boxers that would be interesting to see. Japanese fans hate Neary, so that'd be fun to see.
Over under on Neary making 122.
Missed that too, right?
Brief point. Emmanuel Alim losing to Ronald Ellis, the brother of Rashidi Ellis, on the card as well. And there's a bunch of other fights on the card, but I didn't see them, and I didn't really know any of the guys fighting on the rest of the undercard.
Go back. You can watch the stream. Watch the women's fight.
Which one is
it was okay. You got to see it was 102 pounders, right? Bang Bang Lulu Horton.
Okay.
And Lorraine Villalobos.
Oh, I know Lorraine Villalobos.
These two guys fought. These two girls fought on a card a year ago. Matt, you know how we say, like, just put the names aside, right? Just the names and the hype that comes with them. That was clearly the most entertaining fight on that card. That was a great fight.
I'll go check it out for sure. Then it's on the stream or like FS.
It kicked off the streaming part of the Showtime card.
So it's on like Showtime YouTube then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll go check it out. And
those wasn't
it's only 20 minutes because, you know, they're just girls, so they can't fight 12 rounds.
Yeah, they're not allowed to, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it was not geo-blocked, so that was good.
Showtime usually doesn't geo-block the prelims, though.
Yeah, they do.
They do? Oh, that sucks.
Whenever I've tried to watch live boxing on if it's being streamed, no good for me.
That sucks. Well, moving on. On ESPN Plus, there was a card as well, guys. I know everyone forgot. I forgot. I had to go watch it this morning. Emmanuel Navarre winning against Francisco Horta in the 4th round, and Yurin and Cajas defeating Miguel Gonzalez in the 6th round. Both guys, I mean, obviously tuned up. They're tune-ups. Not much to really talk about this one, but hey, it happened.
Repping Mexico like a true Mexican on this December 7th weekend. Nice to see, at least. One Mexican letting his hands go. Although Andy did land 60 punches.
That's a lie. Guys, thoughts on Navarre and Cajas? No? Cool.
No, Navarre still looks legit. Big, scary guy, you know, for the weight. And I didn't see Cajas. I I deliberately chose not to even look for that one.
He looked good though.
He looked good. I mean, but then put it in perspective. He fought nobody, and he took care of him the way that he was supposed to. But he was picking his shots really well. He was landing with accuracy. He looked good. I thought, and
that's how you should have reviewed your Charlo Hogan fight, Gary.
It's actually like a really good comparison. They're probably very similar. Except
Hogan beat a world champion.
Stop.
When?
Earlier this year, like 8 months ago. When was that fight? March.
I think he lost that fight. I think he lost.
Did he vacate
He did
it?
not lose that fight.
No, but he did.
The Triple G decision.
Oh, he instantly vacated.
I don't know about that.
Oh no, he got robbed, right? Like they just let the loser win, just like when Joshua won a gold medal.
I don't know if it's worse than the Triple G Devchenko decision, but digressing from that
It
point.
was bad, Matt.
Digressing from that point.
Remember what the caller said about that fight. It was the same.
You just muted yourself as you.
The same people that paid off Golden Boy for Mikey to get the decision were the same people that paid off the the Chinese Olympic study from 2000.
Oh my God, I forgot about that caller. That was a Hall of Fame caller. That was so good. Moving on. You guys, any other thoughts on the fights this weekend?
What was good about that caller was like he doubled down on it. Like you gave him a chance to walk it back. He's like, no, that's not what I said. But he's like, yeah, the same people that paid off Golden Boy were the same people that paid off the Olympic study 10 years before that or whatever. No, it was 2004, 2008, right?
No. But the Olympics was 2008, but the study I think was in 2009 or 10.
Yeah. And then, but they paid off Golden Boy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, same people. Go.
Yeah. Good times. Great callers. Again, call in Skype, Mixed Comment Radio. And on that note of great callers and just great listeners overall, guys, thank you for everyone that has subscribed to the channel. We've hit 2,000 subscribers, all because of you. Hold on. There's a special soundbite I play in this moment. Thank you. Celebrate. This is for you guys right here. This show. Hope you guys enjoy it. Moving on.
I knew that. You're gonna get a lot more female viewers, especially in that 18 to 25 demographic, to come look at my hair. They're very, very impressed with that. So hey, maybe my hair will credit turning more women onto boxing.
Trying to find this.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
Yeah. Moving on.
My balls, you pair of bums.
Moving on. Deontay Wilder. Next fight, Tyson Fury, or is it Aslan Makhmudov for a $20 million purse in Montreal, Canada? My quick thoughts on this news.
It's bullshit.
Guys, any thoughts on Wilder Makhmudov and Montreal?
If you can get $20 million to fight that guy, you need to take $20 million.
Hey, he's actually a pretty decent prospect. Just I know, like the joke is like, well, how are you doing this? But he's a 10-0 prospect with 10 knockouts. He fought Samuel Peter, obviously.
Okay, I mean,
that's beat him in 1 round ago.
Okay,
that's pretty impressive.
Who are you picking?
Huh?
Who are you picking in that fight?
What?
Wilder versus. How do you say the guy's name, Matt?
Makhmudov.
Makhmudov. I don't know if he catches Wilder.
Aslanbek the Lion Makhmudov.
He wants all the smoke.
Who, by the way, looks like a heavyweight. Sorry, looks like a heavyweight Canelo Alvarez. Mainly just because he's ginger.
Like
everyone's mind stopped for a second. Everyone tried to picture that.
Like, imagine Canelo look more Russian looking, but he's a heavyweight.
So if Canelo looked like this guy looks like a Russian.
Tell me similarities they have ginger hair.
Look, I think this is just trying to imagine clout off Wilder. Yeah, he's just staying relevant. And I mean, is it Canadian dollars? What's the exchange like? Is that worthwhile to take it?
Oh, I think the Canadian dollar is worth more than the US dollar at this point.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either. I could be wrong.
Gary's awfully quiet.
And the reporting is 20 million US dollars. It's not 20 million Canadian dollars.
All right.
So I think they've already done the converting for us.
Well, is he like the Russian, NABF, Canadian, Montreal.
I think he's the NABF. I think he's the NABF champion.
Oh, one face, one name.
Yep. I think the NABF is slightly owned by the WBC, or they run off each other. I could be wrong about that.
Probably any way to get a sanctioning fee.
20 million Canadian would be 15 million and change American.
But the headline is a US dollar sign.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't happen, but it's all right.
And by the way, the Eye of the Tiger management is the one that is offering this to Deontay Wilder. And again, I don't think this is really news, but it's just 20 million. It's a headline.
It was just made to make people think, wait, Joshua preview, Wilder offered 20 million?
Review, not preview, but yeah, same thing.
It's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
And Montreal's a great city. I don't know if not in the winter, it's way too cold. But yeah, why not? Go there. It's a good fight town. It's a great city. So
great fight town.
I would go there.
Great fight town.
Send me location.
Add more of
great city.
It's more of a French accent because it's all French Canadians in Montreal.
Russian, right?
The fighter's Russian, but
yeah, send me location.
Yes, I should have done that one, huh?
Just send me location.
Yeah, but Wilder's not coming. He's gonna get what 30 million, 40 million for that Fury fight on the back end.
Why is it an and or though? Right? Like, why can't it be both? How much of a camp do you need to beat this guy?
Well, if the fight's in February, then probably he shouldn't have an in-between fight.
Fair enough.
Maybe afterwards, absolutely.
Yeah, and then I'll fight again in the end of the year.
Fighting in June.
You know what? If PBC is smart, they reach out to Eye of the Tiger and say, "Look, I'm totally down for this Wilder Makhmudov fight. Not right now, but let's have Makhmudov fight." I would like that. I was thinking more of a soft touch, to be honest. Like more of a Charles Martin and more of a.
That is a soft.
Eric Molina,
Gerald Washington,
No, not like completely fucking paper.
No, because he already had Samuel Peter. Like he already had like that sort of name, like that.
Samuel Peter greater than Eric Molina.
Absolutely. Like he needs a Gerald Washington type.
Samuel Peter was really good. There was never a time where Eric Molina was really good.
Hey, how dare you say that?
Nah, he's only good when he was rocking Wilder around the place for a little while.
He's from a town called Weslaco, Texas. You know who else is from there?
Oh, you.
Brandon Figueroa and Omar Figueroa.
Oh, so
the greatest boxers alive, guys.
Yeah.
Ever.
Neighborhood of champions right there.
Moving on.
Eric Molina's got to move.
Moving on. Mike Covington reporting sources. Eddie Hearn and Mike Garcia are closing in on a one-fight deal with an option that DAZN bout likely will be versus Jessie Vargas at welterweight in early 2020. No deal yet, but appears imminent. Hearn had a big night with Joshua when now trying to keep momentum going. It is now 2 days after this report, and still waiting for that imminent news. But digressing from that, guys, thoughts on a Mike Garcia, Jessie Vargas one-off fight on DAZN?
Who cares what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
I see what you did there. That was good. Shout out to the Frank Warren impersonation.
This fight's not going to happen. I mean, he's fighting Pacquiao. We already know he's fighting Pacquiao. Shit.
It's garbage.
You guys can't say stuff at the same time or play sound bites over when somebody's talking. It sounds really bad. Don't do that, please.
Play it again.
I couldn't help it. He was breathing. I thought he wasn't like a fish.
Gary doesn't breathe.
Look, Eddie Hearn can say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
And like what is in this fight for Mikey other than maybe just a huge flat check for one night?
But it can't be bigger than a Pacquiao check. It can't be. I mean, I guess theoretically
Pacquiao.
It could be. It could be.
You fight with Pacquiao?
The A side of DAZN, who I think is not struggling, but they've seemed to have stagnated. I would say they've reached a huge amount of growth in a year, but they've seemed to have stagnated in some fashion. A Mike Garcia bump might help them in their mindset, at least, or especially Matchroom's mindset, especially Eddie Hearn's mindset. They will, especially their U.S. department. Maybe they pay him more as the A side versus what PBC could pay Mikey as a B side to Pacquiao, but I don't think that's true. Just playing devil's advocate, that's a possibility. I don't think it's probable, but it's a possibility. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't really think this is going to happen as well. I think this is going to be like the Danny Garcia, Mike Garcia pay-per-view we heard about forever that never happened. Mikey's definitely in that boat of guys that gets mentioned all the time in matchups that never happen. So I just don't know. I don't care to really ponder this as if it's legitimate because Mikey's been in how many different matchups rumored in the last 12 months or whenever he lost to Spence. And all of them have not happened.
Free agent status, right?
Mm-hmm.
He can be linked to everybody and
nobody.
Keep everybody guessing, right? And play everybody off against everybody. Yeah.
It's a negotiating tactic to get more money, a better split in the Pacquiao fight.
I think that's probably a potential factor here. Like, there's a reason it went from, I think the first reporting for this news was a deal, like an actual multi-fight deal. Then it went to one fight, just the Jessie Vargas fight. I think there's Mikey there going back and forth from different rooms with deals and saying, hey, what are you going to offer me now? Okay, he runs back over to the other room. That's PBC. What are you going to offer me now? Runs back over to DAZN. What are you going to offer me now? And he's going to wait till he gets what he deems is the best offer.
I think we get it. The Jessie Vargas fight.
It wouldn't shock me if we did, but I'd bet against it at this point.
I don't even want it. Like, that's the thing. Like,
it's so uninteresting. Like, it has no real impact on the division, but I guess they're just paying Jessie so much money. You're going to earn it. Like, you're going to fight somebody good.
Is this like betting against Prograis versus Hooker, or
what do you mean by that? Like betting against
Hooker? I mean Flanagan. Sorry. Is it that kind of betting against, or is it a stronger possibility?
You're just never gonna let Gary live that one down, huh, Rob?
I can't. That's one of the most
ridiculous. That's got to be 2 years ago at this point, right? Like, how?
It's still gold. That's money in the bank. That
Rob had a miss the other week. Why aren't we remembering it? What was it?
I picked Inouye's brother to beat.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
You
Yeah.
picked Campbell to beat Lomachenko.
Ooh, Gary with the fucking dagger in the heart.
No chance.
Oh man, hold on.
Please believe your demise will be televised.
Your demise just got televised there, Rob.
No way.
It's rough though, right? Because
no
like,
one's watching this on TV.
if Charlo, let's say Charlo did fight Canelo, I'm in the same spot you were with Luke Campbell. Like, what am I supposed to do?
I don't care about that. Digressing back to Mike Garcia, Jessie Vargas. I mean, I think Manny Pacquiao wins against Mikey, but that's a far more interesting fight at 147 than Jessie Vargas at this point in time. Rob, do you disagree with that?
No, I think
like beyond what you think happens.
Excited by it, but I think it could be a good fight. I think it'd be a good fight.
What, Mikey Pacquiao or
no Mikey Vargas?
What fight's better, Pacquiao Mikey or Mikey versus Jessie Vargas?
Competitive wise, Jessie Vargas.
Mikey wins both of them, but Pacquiao's obviously more competitive. Oh, I don't think a Vargas fight's not competitive at all.
Look. Here's the deal. I don't know really how to respond to that, Rob, because I mean Jessie Vargas just went life and death with Humberto Soto, who has a worse hairline than you do.
Why are you doing that?
It's not a dig at you. It's a dig at Humberto Soto.
No, but you're bringing me into that
because I'm talking to you, and you're the only bald guy in the group, so I'm going to make bald jokes. It has to be to you.
If you want to make fun of somebody with great hair,
that's to make out how bad his hairline is. That it is worse than mine.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to get Anthony over? So you can trash on the UK some more.
I'll trash on his hairline too. Don't worry. I don't understand how anyone thinks Mikey Jessie Vargas is a legitimate fight at this point in time. Jessie Vargas has struggled and had draws with Thomas Delorme. He is struggling on life and death with Humberto Soto. Mikey, while getting destroyed by Earl Spence, that's Earl Spence. You know what I mean? And Mikey still beat Sergey Lipinets at 140, which is a better win than any of Jessie Vargas's wins at 140. He still has wins against Robert Easter at 135. That's better than any win that Jessie Vargas has at 135. I mean, Jessie Vargas is the perennial guy that has gotten opportunity after opportunity without ever proving it, without ever earning it.
Well, he beat Ali, which was the big win. Saddam Ali.
Yeah, and again, I don't know what made Saddam Ali this big win where now we rank.
He was an Olympian. He was a hot prospect. Again, I saw him at least done nothing to earn that, but he was an Olympian and he looked really good against bad competition, and he was a big prospect. That's really all he was.
Yeah, I understand. That's Jaime Magia the same way.
His career. What are you talking about?
I just don't understand how anyone thinks Mikey doesn't just really outbox and just sort of 10-2, 11-1, 12-0 decision Jessie Vargas.
You
honestly.
said it was a good fight before the show. I love it.
Me?
Yeah.
I never said Mikey and Jessie Vargas was a good fight. We never even talked about it before the show. Like, Rob, you can like make up things like you did with Gary. That's fine. I never said this was a good fight. I've always said this fight was shit. So you can try to put words in my mouth and lie about what I've said. That's never happened. I've never said this was a good fight.
Legitimately talked about this before the show. But anyway.
And legitimately, I've never said this was a good fight. Never. This fight is garbage. Now, it's not as garbage as, let's say, the Danny Garcia fight, which we'll get to, because that fight is trash. But this is a garbage fight that does nothing for the division, nothing for Mike Garcia. All it is a attempt to bring some name value to DAZN and to put him in there with Jessie, who they've been paying so much money for nothing. Okay? This fight means nothing to me. And this fight is probably going to be a ho-hum decision where Mikey wins every round. I don't understand how anyone thinks this fight's better than the Pacquiao and Mikey Garcia fight. I don't understand that argument.
Because I think Pacquiao destroys him. Like, I think he knocks him out where Spence couldn't.
Okay. Okay. I don't agree with you. I think that's a really bad, really bad take there.
All right.
Gary, you want to jump in?
He thinks Mikey wins everything.
I mean, I think he beats both those names that we mentioned. Although the Pacquiao fight's obviously a great fight. I think that's I really want to see that fight because I could see either guy winning. I would pick Mikey because I have to at this point, and I don't think it's unreasonable that Mikey can time him and outbox him. But Vargas is bigger, a lot bigger and longer, so he may give him some problems there, but Mikey would figure that out and he'd dominate most of the fight.
Yeah, and plus, like, if this is just a one-off, then, like, what does it really even do for DAZN?
It makes no sense. I mean, unless you think you can wine and dine Mikey and bring him over and fight Hooker, I guess is. But they don't have anyone.
You've been pushing that Hooker fight. It's never going to happen, Gary. Hooker is a no one right now without a belt. That's just a reality.
I'm saying at 147, what does DAZN have to offer Mikey that, you know what I'm saying? Like to entice him to stay?
Nothing except for maybe money, obviously. Like, they could pay him huge guarantees like Canelo and not worry about the paycheck potentially if he's just a loss leader in their eyes. But I don't think that legitimately happens. I don't think Mikey is that guy.
But, like, Eddie has to have an end game in mind, right? Like, what?
With negotiating with Mikey?
Yeah, like, this is the fight I want to make. I'll pay him a lot of money to fight Jessie because I want this fight after that. What fight is that? That's what, like, what fight is he looking down the road at?
I don't think they're thinking that way. I think promoters nowadays rarely think long-term in that aspect, to be honest. I think they're thinking about what is the biggest pop we can get for a night, regardless of money. Right now, maybe Mikey, Jessie, because Jessie's our only big piece at welterweight. We need a welterweight name. Mikey is the only one negotiating with us. It's going to make us a quick buck, potentially.
They should put it in Miami, too. It'll kill there.
Now, if it happens, I think it's a fight between a guy that's maybe top 8 in the world against a guy that's top 15 in the world. But it's a fight that, again, does nothing for either guy long term. I think it's like if Mikey wants to tune up, which this kind of is in a way, in my mind, I can see why he's doing it for a quick cash grab. But Mikey's also that guy that's still like calling out top level names too. Like Mikey's a weird case. Like regardless of that loss, he still thinks he could beat everyone. So I'd rather see him fight a Danny Garcia. I'd rather see him fight a Manny Pacquiao. I'd rather see him fight a Terrence Crawford even. Or if he's going to take a tune-up, I mean, this isn't the worst tune-up in the world to take, right?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not Ivan Radcash.
Yeah, I mean, that's so bad, so bad. So I'm accepting it under that pretext that he's coming off this huge loss, first loss in his career. It's a tune-up. All right, I accept it. It's fine. But other than that, it's not anything for me. It's not anything meaningful for me at all. And I don't think it's a competitive fight as well. Well, I do think, I think Pacquiao beats Mikey. I think that's a far more competitive matchup than Vargas and Mike Garcia. But digressing from that, any other points on Mikey Garcia, Jessie Vargas, one fight deal with DAZN? No? No. Okay. Let's move over to the fight we're talking about. Danny Garcia fighting Ivan Redkach on the main event of that Fox card with Benavidez and Yildirim at the Barclays Center. And this is perhaps one of the worst fights that I've seen in some time. This is definitely a return to the Rod Salka days, it feels like, in a way. Right, Gary? Or like at least Herrera, on that level.
It's Rod Salka bad.
Is it that bad?
Ivan Radcliffe, like, is he even a welterweight? He's not. I know he fought Devin at welterweight, but isn't he a lightweight?
I think so.
This fight is ridiculous. The fact that Devin Alexander, who I thought was pretty good at 140, got iced by this guy says all you need to know about where Devin Alexander's career. And Devin's not that old, right? What's he, like 32?
He has miles. He has miles, though. He has miles, though, on him, for sure.
He does. He does.
And Chase reminding us, Chase Athletics saying Farmer beat Evan Redkach years ago. I mean, yeah. I mean, it makes no sense to me.
This was going to be Broner's come out of his 75th retirement fight, right? Redkach.
That was semi-acceptable because it was Broner. Like, we no longer have expectations for him.
Yeah.
Right? He's not a top 10 guy in any division.
It doesn't matter what weight Redkach is if someone's not going to punch you.
Exactly. With Danny, though, Danny just iced Granados in really impressive fashion. Not just. He did it in April a long time ago. Has done nothing the rest of the year. Obviously, was lined up for Earl Spence, but that fight got derailed because of Spence's car crash. And now, I think the thought process here is that he's supposed to take this quick tune-up and a quick turnaround and fight Pacquiao, who may not be available for a Mikey Garcia fight because Mikey's fighting Jessie Vargas. Gosh, I so don't care about anything I just said right there, to be honest.
Mike Oppinger quote tweeted Keith Idek's news on this and said Stephen Espinoza claimed 2020 would be different for Showtime Boxing. Not off to a good start.
Yeah, it's not. Like, Benavidez Yildirim isn't a good fight even. And so there's not even that, like, oh, great co-main event, but shitty main event factor. No, like, there's just a kind of a bad PBC on Fox card where Garcia should probably shine here against a guy that's significantly smaller than him and knock him out early. Benavidez should knock out Yildirim in impressive fashion. Let's be honest here. I don't get the matchmaking here for this card, other than trying to keep Danny Garcia warm and loose for a Pacquiao fight instead of having him be a full year off from the Granados fight. But other than that, it has no service. It has no value to anything in the sport other than keeping Danny Garcia ready for a Pacquiao fight if he wants
it. It's been a while. Like you said, it's been since April, you said, since Garcia fought?
I think it's April. I can check.
I mean, you go back to that Porter fight, which was like September of 2017 or something like that. He's only fought once since then, so we just got to get him back in the ring. And I wish it was against. Why not have him fight Jamal James, right? Like, Jamal James has put together enough mediocre wins where he deserves a big fight. Give him Jamal James. Let's do that. Give him a guy who. And look, Redkach deserves a good fight, right? Like, Redkach deserves. He beat Devin, so give him Broner. Like, that's the fight he deserved. Or give him Granados at 140. Right? Give him a good fight.
Or Andre Berto. I mean, somebody out there. But no, we get Danny Garcia matchup. And Danny Garcia should knock him out, again, within, 3 rounds, 4 rounds? They shouldn't be competitive at all.
It's not going to be. I don't know what he knocks him out. He'll knock him out for sure. And it won't be competitive.
Just in the chat saying, are the phones open? Our number is down, but our Skype line is open. So if you want to Skype in, Mixed Combat Radio on Skype. PSK saying Danny versus Ugas. I mean, obviously, Ugas and Lipinets are the obvious names because they're both at 147. They're both within the top 15. But both guys are being lined up for other fights. We have Lipinets Apokadorov for the Wilder Fury undercard. We have Ugas versus Vesputin being ordered, and Ugas was seemingly wanting that fight on social media. I think, not that those fights could have been sort of canned for Ugas to fight Danny or Lipinets to fight Danny, but I think they just went other directions, and there was no willingness to say, oh, let's cancel that fight to make this fight better. They're just like, oh, just put all these guys out there. Just make matchups. Again, there's no long-term real thinking here from any promoter in my mind, except for maybe a 6-month time window that they're thinking. That's it. There's no 2-year plan. There's no 1-year plan. There's no 3-year plan. There's no 5-year plan. There's nothing like that for promoters in terms of thinking. Guys, thoughts on Garcia, Red Catch? Rob?
No, it's just not really good, is it? It's
No, it is not good. And those Cherry Garcia memes, those are going to be out in full force. The Cherry picking with, you know what I'm talking about.
Obviously, as he's been out the ring a little while, so he's getting his customary comeback against someone that can't beat him. So I don't know. It's seems to be a regular pattern, right? So not looking forward to that. Just all these guys that PBC have got, this welterweight scene, it's all right taking shots at Crawford for not fighting anybody. I know they're slowly maybe fighting each other, but over on PBC, but this isn't even really a welterweight, right?
Well, I mean, I'll say this. Obviously, you had like Thurman Pacquiao fight people. You had Spence, I think, had a legitimate fight opposite Porter last year. Danny just didn't. Crawford didn't. And you have two guys who are in the top 5 who had nothing years not fight each other. Why? Because of promotional network issues. Like, that is such bullshit. And there is a double standard. I know that was what you were alluding to, Rob. Like, there's like the whole, obviously Crawford fighting this weekend. Everyone's shitting on the Crawford fight against Kavalauskas because it's a shit fight. It should get criticism. It's not a good matchup. It does nothing for Crawford in a year that's done nothing for Crawford. Similar, Danny Garcia has done nothing this year. Why has there been no real movement for that fight to be made from either side? Both sides deserves a lot of blame here for neither guy really getting matched up well in 2019 when they could have.
Yeah, there's really no excuse. Like, Garcia's going to have options. He's going to have Pacquiao. He's going to have Spence. He's going to have options. Crawford needs, we talked about this, Crawford needs to get out of his comfort zone and start calling people out. And doing it on ESPN, doing it on First Take, doing it with Stephen A. Smith, and getting attention. Because he can get these fights, but he's got to, him and ESPN have to push for it publicly.
Yeah, they do. And it's just not happening. We're going to get shit fights till, God, I don't know, man. Because there doesn't seem to be any push from Danny's camp to make that fight. There seems to be no push from Crawford's side to make that fight. And overall, Crawford not to really make any of the fights with the PBC guys. And he, even like when we were talking about the LA Times interview with him, like he seems to be accepting that that's his lot in life in the welterweight division, that he's not going to get these fights. No, don't think that way. Go out there and call out Sean Porter. He will take the fight.
What if they moved Ramirez up and put him in LA?
But they've
not into that.
I mean, it's fine.
It's not a legacy fight, but it's like the best they can do at this point. It would be the WBO, so he could get that fight whenever he wanted it, right? I mean, it's makeable.
Look. Is it better than Kavalauskas? Yes. Is that your question? Is your question? Do I accept that matchup as a great fight at the welterweight division?
Okay with it?
No, not really. To be honest, like it could be a lot worse, but that's not a defense of really the matchup. I think Crawford was at 140. He dominated there. He went to 147, fought Jeff Horn, which was a smart fight to make. He beat Pacquiao and has done nothing since then. I want to see him fight welterweight guys, not junior welterweights moving up. I don't care to see that.
We that he can't.
Stop. It's almost like, not to the same degree, but like if we get a Gervonta Davis, Leo Santa Cruz fight, or that gets criticism because it will. Gervonta fighting all those featherweights that moved up. How's that any different than Crawford fighting blown up junior welterweights if that's his next route, because that seems to be his next route. Prograis, Ramirez, guys, Saucedo maybe, guys that are moving up from 140 could be named for him. That's Gervonta Davis's route. I don't like that. That does nothing for me when there are unifications within the division that can be made that you guys are just not willing to play ball with the other kid in the sandbox.
I feel like I can be critical of Crawford because I've been his biggest supporter. I think Crawford's a unique talent. I think he's one of the best fighters I've seen with my own eyes. But he's got to do more to make these fights. Like, he can get these fights. He can get a Garcia fight. He could for sure get a Shawnee Porter fight, for sure. He called out Shawn Porter. That fight's made in 5 minutes. He could get a Thurman fight probably if Thurman wants to fight again. He could get those fights. But he's got to be proactive in it, and he's not.
And his promoter and network have to be willing for him to play ball. And have to be willing to play ball at times. Whether that means sending him over, whether that means demanding certain guys come to their network, whether it means to try to make some sort of co-network deal, whatever it may be, you got to play ball here, man. Like, I tell my 5-year-old kid he has to, like, play nice with others and, like, make rules with others. Like, he can't make all the rules when he plays a game with someone, right? I teach my 5-year-old that. I shouldn't have to teach multi-billion-dollar companies, hey, you guys have to, like, work together to make more money. Like, they're all 60-plus-year-old white dudes. Like, you guys should know this. Let's be honest. ESPN execs, DAZN execs, Matchroom execs, Top Rank execs. Like, you guys know how to play ball and how to make big fights. Stop being little children, play together nice, and make the fights we all want. It's really easy. But anyways, any other thoughts, guys, on Danny Garcia, Ivan Redcatch?
What else is there to say?
It's like a fight I know if Rob really wants to rant about. Lance Pugmire saying, good news for deserving Nonito Donaire. He's the WBC mandatory to bantamweight champion Nordine O'Bali. If no deal by early January, purse bids. Rob, thoughts on this fight?
And the new. That's it. Simples, no problem. Donaire within 5 rounds. O'Bali is finished.
5 seconds of the first round, right, Rob?
Yep, okay. That falls within my prediction. So, yeah. No, I've never been big on O'Bali, as people may well know listening to the show. And Donaire, off the back of a great performance against, yes, in defeat, but he broke the monster, right? He broke his eye socket and all kinds of shit. So
Fractured.
Fracture equals broken.
No, I mean, in terms of like healing time, it's different.
If you fractured your phone screen, you would say your phone screen's broken, right?
Here's a debate worth having.
Yeah, I know. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, we're debating what's a broken bone or a fracture.
Breaking a fracture, the same thing. Is a fracture a type
and as two non-medical experts, me and Rob are perfectly able to have that conversation.
For sure. You just need a widget and
the widget. Gary, what were you going to say about worthwhile debates?
It probably isn't.
Can we talk about, because this is a good fight. I'm into this O'Bali fight. Like, I think Donaire wins. I think Donaire probably stops him. But this is a really good fight. This is offensive firepower. And I think Donaire's firepower and power and size at 118 is really good. I think he might be the second best guy in a deep division. Like, I think Donaire's got a lot left. So I'll take Donaire late, but I think there's a ton of fireworks in this fight.
I'm picking Donaire late, obviously for some of the reasons you brought up. Though I don't think the size will matter as much in this one as it did, let's say, the Inoue fight. Inoue coming from 108 all the way up to 118.
I
just think he looks big and strong at 18. Not that O'Bali. I just like the way.
No. I know what you were saying. I'm making my points now. That I think the size advantage he had against Inoue was a massive factor, right? Even though he's big and strong at the weight period, he was big and strong, especially compared to Inoue, a guy that's come up from 108, while Donaire is a guy that started at 118, moved up, and then came back down. O'Bali is a natural 118-pounder, a natural bantamweight, and I think his size won't be as much of an issue, or his lack of size compared to Donaire, let's say, as Inoue. But, I mean, Obali is not the boxer that Inoue is. He's not the heavy hitter that Inoue is. He's a guy that got touched up by Takuma Inoue and even kind of rocked at several times. Not really, but Rob, similar to the AJ point you brought up like way at the beginning of the show, like how AJ caught Ruiz with that right hand. Not really rocked him, but you can tell it was a tonal shift instantly. Similar, Takuma Inoue landed some shots on Obali, and you can tell it was like, oh, shit, I have to adjust to that now. And if Takuma Inoue, a guy that almost has no knockouts in his entire career, can lay hands on you, can hurt you, then what can Donaire do? It's hard for me to really put that in perspective, especially when Obali's best win is a really good win against Rashid Warren, but Warren is not a heavy hitter. He's a really good boxer, a really good mover, but he's not a heavy hitter. Never really wanted to hurt guys in the ring. So Obali overpowering Warren, while a great win, maybe was a false indicator of how, Gary left. He'll come back, I'm assuming.
I don't know. He does like Obali, man.
He was like, no, fuck this shit. I'm out. How dare you shit on Obali.
Takuma Inoue put hands on him. That was it.
Here's Gary back. Hi, Gary.
I don't know, fellas.
I don't know.
I mean,
anyways, digressing. Obali, I think he is a guy that trusts in his strength and his athleticism a little bit too much, and his boxing technique doesn't really match it. So I can definitely see Donaire just piecing him up just because he's so much of a better boxer than Obali, along with being, slightly bigger, slightly stronger than Nordine Obali. I like the fight. I think it's great. I think that's great that Donaire sort of back at it too. I was thinking that maybe Donaire calls it quits in a way, like walks off in the sunset off that great performance. Even though he lost, I thought that was a factor. It was a hard fight too. And to that point, obviously it's hard to say because his last fight was Inoue and it was a great fight. He looked fantastic, but it was a hell of a fight. It was a fight that takes a lot out of a fighter. Both Inoue and Donaire may not be the same post that fight, to be honest. It was that sort of performance. So I am curious, Donaire being a guy that advanced in age, was that sort of the last hurrah that he really had in his career? You know what I mean? Like, was that the last sort of gas in his tank that he sort of put out there as a veteran fighter for that performance, and now he can't replicate that anymore? I am curious about that factor, to be honest. But digressing from that, love the matchup. I think it's a very interesting fight at the bantamweight division. Guys, I know, Rob, you sent me some other news. We're going to save that for either tomorrow's show or Wednesday's show. Probably tomorrow's show, just for the sake of time.
No way, that was all.
I know. We're going to save that for tomorrow's show, and we're going to preview the Crawford-Kavaliauskas fight card and everything else coming up this weekend, tomorrow most likely. But, guys, any other thoughts on Donaire Obali? No?
And the new.
Well, guys, final thoughts time. Rob?
Donaire's going to be like,
Man, the first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
I like how the beat came in right when they went 2-time too. That was nice, right? I didn't plan that, but that was nice.
Let me try another one.
I like that one better.
It's hard. That one's
it builds up. I like the build up.
Yeah, that was good.
Some sound bites can be long. But digressing, guys, you can find me, Matt Hunter, MCR, on all social media platforms. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. And thank you for all of our subscribers, listeners, and supporters for helping us get to 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Without you, literally, it wouldn't happen. So thank you. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Have a great night, great evening, wherever you are, all that fun stuff. Rob?
Without me as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thanks everybody. 2,000. That's good. That's good. But go that step further. Tell another 100,000 people. We're back in the game. No. Shout out to Joshua, done his thing. Shout out to Charlo, done his thing, I suppose. Gary, it's all thrown me. You're all over there on the right hand side now. But yeah, share the show, hit that thumbs up. UK Rob MCR, a little thing under the screen. If you're going to try and follow Gary, he assures us that if you just type 3D boxing, that's him. But
it's 3D boxing blog.
3D boxing blog. So yeah, catch you on the next one.
Gary in Dallas.
That was the performance Jamal Charlo needed. like I said in the beginning, you put it on a scale, it weighs 160 or less. Jamal Charlo will knock it out. Science only.
Except for Brandon Adams, Matt Korbov.
Starting now.
Starting now.
Good show. And again, I was not hating on the performance of Anthony Joshua. It was a good performance by Joshua.
You're gonna get some hate in the comment section, Gary. Absolutely, guaranteed. Usually,
the fight he needed to fight, but it's just like if a fastball pitcher overpowers you, what's the only thing you can do is slap singles against them? Like, okay, well that's the approach then, and if you can execute that, great.
Oh man, it's all about dubs and L's, man. And he got a dub.
Find me on all forms of social media at 3D Boxing Blog.
You guys have a great night, great evening. Peace.